The Pacific Ocean can look peaceful, endless blue water, calm skies, gentle waves rolling across the surface. But sailors know something the rest of the world doesn't. The ocean can change everything in a single moment. In 1973, a British couple named Maurice and Maralyn Bailey were sailing across the Pacific Ocean toward a new life in New Zealand. They had sold almost everything they owned to make the journey possible. Their home, their belongings, their comfortable life in England, all of it was traded for a dream. The dream of sailing across the world together. Their boat was a small 31-foot yacht named Maralyn. It wasn't large, it wasn't luxurious, but to them it represented freedom. For months their voyage went smoothly. They crossed the Atlantic Ocean. They passed through the Panama Canal. They sailed west across the vast Pacific toward the Galapagos Islands. Life at sea had become routine. The wind filled the sails. The boat creaked softly over the waves. The horizon stretched endlessly in every direction. Then one morning something moved beneath the water. At first it was just a shadow. Then the shadow grew larger, much larger. It was a whale. Before Maurice or Maralyn could react, the whale surged upward from beneath the boat and slammed directly into the hull. The impact was violent. The entire boat shuddered. Wood cracked. Water began pouring into the cabin. The hull had been badly damaged. The boat was sinking. Maurice and Maralyn had less than 40 minutes before the yacht would disappear beneath the Pacific. They rushed across the deck, grabbing whatever supplies they could reach. A few tins of food, some water, a compass, a few survival items, anything they could throw into the life raft. The ocean was already swallowing their boat. They climbed into a small rubber raft and a tiny inflatable dinghy tied beside it. Then they watched their home sink beneath the waves. Within minutes, the yacht was gone. The ocean closed over it as if it had never existed. Maurice and Maralyn were now alone in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, thousands of miles from land, with no radio, no engine, and no way to call for help. At first they believed rescue would come quickly. Surely a ship would pass nearby, surely someone would spot them. But the Pacific Ocean is enormous. Days passed, then weeks. Ships appeared on the horizon. Several times they believed they were saved. They waved, they shouted, they fired flares. But the ships never saw them. Each one slowly disappeared over the horizon, and each time hope slipped away a little more. Their food supply was small, 33 tins of food. They rationed carefully, a few bites each day. But eventually the last tin was empty. Now survival depended entirely on what the ocean could provide. Maurice and Maralyn began catching fish using makeshift hooks made from safety pins. Sometimes they caught small fish with their bare hands. Seabirds occasionally landed on the raft. Those birds became food. Even sea turtles were captured and eaten. Everything was consumed raw. Fish, birds, turtle meat. Even turtle blood was used for hydration. Hunger had stripped away every sense of comfort. The sun burned their skin every day. Salt water soaked their bodies constantly. Painful sores formed across their legs and backs. Their skin cracked and blistered. The rubber raft slowly lost air and had to be pumped constantly to keep it from collapsing. If the raft failed, they would vanish into the Pacific forever. Then the sharks arrived. At first it was only one, a dark shape circling below the raft. Then another appeared, and another. Sometimes they bumped the raft gently from below. Other times they circled silently beneath the surface, watching. Sharks can sense weakness in the water, and this tiny raft looked like weakness. As the weeks passed, exhaustion and hunger began to break Maurice mentally. He began to believe they would never survive. He spoke about giving up, but Maralyn refused to let hope disappear. She created routines to keep their minds focused. Every morning they checked the raft. They collected rainwater whenever storms passed overhead. They searched for fish. They repaired equipment. Anything to keep moving forward, because once hope disappears at sea, survival usually follows. Maralyn's determination kept them alive. Weeks turned into months. Their bodies wasted away. Each of them lost nearly 40 pounds. They drifted more than 1,500 miles across the Pacific Ocean. The raft smelled of salt, fish, and decay. The sun burned overhead day after day, The ocean surrounded them in every direction. For nearly 4 months they saw nothing but water. Then one morning, something appeared on the horizon. At first, Maurice thought it was another illusion. The ocean had played tricks on their eyes before, but this time the shape grew larger, a ship. The vessel slowly approached. Crew members looked down from the deck. They had finally been seen. A South Korean fishing boat had spotted the raft, drifting in the open ocean. Maurice and Maralyn were pulled aboard. They were thin, weak, barely able to stand, but they were alive. After 117 days adrift in the Pacific Ocean. Most people would never go near the sea again after an experience like that, but Maurice and Maralyn eventually returned to sailing, because even after everything the ocean had done to them, the ocean still called. Their survival became one of the most remarkable maritime stories ever recorded, a reminder that the ocean can destroy ships, it can starve the strongest sailors. It can surround you with endless water and still leave you dying of thirst. But sometimes survival comes down to one simple thing: refusing to give up, even when the entire ocean is trying to erase you.